I get that, but I would flip it in terms of like a basement show being like a friend with benefit kind of fuck, where it's like it can be the venue where it's like one, it could be either like a Venmo that it's like a venue that you see like once or some shit, or it's like, oh, this venue is kind of nice, like I might go there like a couple times or some shit, but it's like, like there's kind of uniqueness in the venue, and again, it's like some venues are really shitty, some are really nice and whatnot, but it's like, you know what, it's kind of nice to see a bunch of different venues and whatnot. But I feel like an apartment, it's like the right amount of people. Like I feel like sometimes the bigger shit, like it's nice if you're not hosting, but if you actually have to like host or deal with all that sort of shit, where it's like, right now I have like 30 people at my house or some shit, and it's like that can also kind of become too kind of closed off or whatnot. If you have like an apartment thing where it's like everyone's kind of together,
friends that like clean though. Cause I'm a friend that cleans. I was like, you need me to watch this? Like,
no, just like literally like
don't bring the mess in my house and not clean up after yourself.
No,
I'm looking at you.
We usually like I'll wake up really early, especially for like spending the night and stuff. I'll wake up at like 7 a.m. and I'll just like start cleaning up like cans and stuff and whatnot. And I was like, well, I'm like, I don't have anything else to do for like, I'm like, everyone's still asleep for like 45 minutes, and I'm like, I have the energy or whatnot. And I'm up. I'm like, we all made the mess and whatnot. I'm like, my friend's hosting. I'm not gonna have him clean up the house that we like, messed up and whatnot. Like,
I feel you.
I mean, I was like, I was a host. I was like a busboy. I'm like, it's just like, even like. Even like when people like go out to eat and whatnot, and they don't like stack their utensils or stack kind of everything and stuff for the server, they're like, "Oh, it's someone's job." I'm like, "Okay, but you've never tried to make someone's job easier in their life, like
it's someone else's job."
It's
dude.
It's the same shit as like I know like not every like Uber driver, not every customer and stuff wants to talk or whatnot. But it's so awkward where, like, I'd rather be in an Uber driver and have, like, that one really interesting, life-changing conversation or some shit than drive, like, unless it's, like, 4 a.m. and I'm, like, I'm not awake, I don't want to talk to anyone or some shit, like, whatever. Like, if it's, like, something like that, but if it's, like, there's some, and there's some, like, entitled people that are, like, just don't talk to me, like, don't whatever, they're so kind of, like, oh, you're just a means of getting to my location, like, you're not a person, like, you are,
no, that is crazy.
Like, or they're, like, the full volume phone call or
it's like, bro, I got kids, chill.
Like, just put your headphones in, but, like, hey, like, I'm not trying to talk this time, like, every so often is cool, but, like, stay open. I don't always want to talk about.
I wish, like, I don't know if they do this, but like, I wish you can kind of like show which kind of ride you want, like, or if there's kind of like levels of kind of like, all right, do you want like light chat, like full conversation, or like whatever. Yeah, like if there was like a scale where like the customer kind of like, or like the driver kind of saw what the customer's looking into, they'd have a better experience and they'd like get a better review too because they know what the customer wants.
Patent that.
Like Uber, get on this. Hey, but
come on.
But don't do some AI bullshit. You got.
You need to sponsor the podcast.
It's right here. This is our. We have the trademark pending.
We give you ideas.
Exactly.
The trademark's pending.
Ideas.
Yeah.
I always say hi and thank you. When I get in the I'm like, hi, how you doing and whatnot. And then when I end, I say thank you, have a good day and all that. Like I'm about my manners. I'm usually not trying to talk, but if someone talks to me, I will respond. It's
you
not
gotta do that cute little like conversative, like, hey, how you doing? How's you?
Literally, like the second you literally.
It depends on like I think it kind of depends on like how much you're driving and stuff too, because I feel like sometimes if I'm like driving someone back or whatnot, and they're like just tired, or I know they kind of had like a long night or whatnot. Sometimes I'm like, you know what, like I respect it. I'm like if I had like a Red Bull or something or like a water, like I'll try to have like a drink or something where it's like I have something secondary to like keep me awake or something, or like stick your hand out the window or something just for that like coolness or something. But it's like if someone just needs to sleep or whatever, like I mean, like ideally you'd say like you can stay up with me, but I know like some people I'm like, all right, you just fall asleep really quickly. I'm not gonna force you to try to stay up. I'm like, you're already kind of like getting ready to sleep, and I haven't even like driven yet. I'm like, just sleep, like
especially given that chance to sleep at first. Like you usually wake up halfway through the room.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not comfortable sleeping in the car.
Yeah. Or then some people are just out and they just wake up at home and I'm like,
especially if it's like a 30-minute, 45-minute drive, like okay, I can keep myself awake.
Yeah, right. I'm like, all right, just put on like a quiet album or something like. But, like sometimes it's like a fun like mental kind of like meditation or kind of like, all right, like those late night drives and shit. You're like, all right, I guess I can think about stuff. I don't have to have a conversation, but it's like, you know what?
I like that.
That kind of like quiet 45 minutes actually let me kind of figure something out.
If it's like 3 hours, I'm an hour like.
Or if you're stuck in like 3 or 4, or you're like stuck in like traffic or something.
Y'all gotta stay up. Y'all staying up.
Y'all are suffering in this traffic with me.
Exactly.
This drive over now. Y'all staying up.
If the music cannot keep me awake, my phone's dying. Somebody got.
You gotta keep me awake. You gotta keep me awake now.
Right. I'm like, you need the charger. You were on fucking Snapchat for 4 hours. I was the one driving. My phone is the one that needs battery. I was like, the fuck you.
I was driving to Pittsburgh like last year.
Oh my god, I want to do that so bad. I want to drive to Pittsburgh.
My boyfriend's from there, and like we like took a little like week trip. It was cute, but on the way there he fell asleep, and I was like, "Shut the fuck up!"
No, right? Like, this drive gotta be hours long. You gotta be awake with me.
Like I let him sleep for a little bit, but like my phone was dying, and then like it was getting towards that like. I'm driving maps. Usually it's like, okay, you got interview. 5 minutes.
And it's like, and it's like, if you're like swapping drivers, right? Like if you're like the first driver that takes a nap after like, all right, I just drove these 4 hours. I'm gonna crash a little bit or something just because I was the one doing that driving. Then the second driver takes over. But if you're like this, like the second person, you're like you're sleeping for what? Like you start at the window and it's like you're just waiting and shit for your turn to drive or be like, all right, I can kind of coast or do my thing. You know, I'm like, what do you need a nap for? I'm like, stay up.
Okay, ooh, okay, we could do one more and then do thumbnails because I know you got to get to your plans, bestie. So, let me ask you about this. Okay, since you're in an interracial relationship, how do you feel about the way that they're represented in a lot of media? Like, how do you feel about the way like they usually show up on media? Because I know a lot of times in a lot of things, interracial relationships are usually marked with one white person and then it's a person of color, or it's like actually it usually is that.
It's always that.
Like it's always like someone chasing a white boy. It's always someone chasing a white boy chasing a white girl, and I always feel like
as someone who's dating a white person, don't want to see them anymore. I know my plights, but like I want to see black people. I want to see two people. It doesn't have to be the same race either. Like interracial can mean like interracial. It doesn't always have to mean white boy, white woman. Like, can I get like an Indian South Asian with like some like African Ethiopian person?
Right, like come on, let's swirl it.
Can I get like a Romani person or something like with like from Spain? Like what's up? Like,
right, like let me get a Vietnamese man and a Puerto Rican woman.
Give me some color.
No, literally, I always hate that. I'm like, bro, like interracial does not mean with a white person. Why do y'all want like it's always some person of color chasing after whiteness?
Is it interracial or interracist?
I can only really stomach the ones where like the white person is chasing the black person. But but there are no other options.
No, yeah, because
no other options.
Seeing a person of color chase a white person in real life and like in like like in media, I started to feel so wrong about it.
Well, I feel like it also depends on like I guess like class difference and stuff, or kind of like how you kind of grew up, like what you kind of like what your kind of belief systems and stuff were too. Because I feel like there are some like white people where it's like, oh, it's like Pokemon, like I gotta collect them all or something. It's like, oh, I gotta get me a like whatever, or like,
yo, I've had someone ask me if I want to be their slave before. Like,
yeah, and that's fucking insane.
Like some people are wild.
But I mean, like some people are like some people like only chase trans people. Some people like only fetishize certain races and stuff. Like Asian people get fetishized a lot for their race. Like, and it's like at the end of the day, it's like as long as you're in like a consensual relationship, like that's the kind of bottom line and shit. But like people that kind of become too fetishy or too kind of like fixated on race, or it's like, oh, I would never date a whatever, or like, oh,
it's like preference doesn't mean the exclusion. Like,
yeah, right.
The preference isn't like your lack of
that word is beating the bitches up. That word is beating bitches up.
Right, and it's like
I don't
know, and it's like and like personality is such a huge thing. It's like you want kind of like the essence of someone that you can kind of fuck with. It's less so about what they look like, and it's like, dude, like genuinely, like, are you a person that kind of like betters me or like compliments me or like pushes me and stuff like in a way? It's not about like, oh, I'm dating someone that's like Filipino. Oh, I'm dating someone that's kind of whatever. It's like, no, I have a partner that supports me. I have a partner that does kind of whatever, and like it should be like inner kind of support. Like it's so external, so kind of whatever. It's like, oh, we have like a Latino girl dating Indian boy or something. Oh, we hit this check mark, whatever. We hit kind of whatever, like
those goddamn woke movies and their woke leftist ideals.
Yeah,
it's literally just like a black person being on screen. Those wokeness, they bring woke to games. It's just a black person on your screen.
Right, like, it's just a nigga with dreadlocks. He's
just a playable character.
Right.
They all have, mind you, they all have dreadlocks. We're asking for more, but this is the bare minimum we're getting.
I don't think this is hurting you, babe. I don't think this is hurting you, babe.
Like, you can be a white person in any other game. Let me be a black elf.
Or it's like
in Elden Ring.
Or it's like I feel like commercials are going so woke. It's like no, maybe agencies only thought that like white people, like were like the consumers and stuff, and like were who they should be targeting, and they're like, oh, actually. Maybe like focusing on like the 40% of fucking white people in this country maybe isn't like the best for capitalism either. Maybe I don't know, when we reach out to everyone makes more money, everyone kind of does better and shit. Maybe when we feed more people, like, oh wow, when we don't like marginalize and neglect and kind of like shame like half the population, shit works out. Crazy concept. Like
if we treat black people and the minorities like they're people, things happen.
No, literally.
Like, the world continues to spin. That's crazy.
No, actually,
when they have rights, people don't lose them. They get more, actually.
There's consciousness. Like, you understand. Like,
bring back class consciousness.
Bring back class consciousness and stop the white people from taking race out of it. Because you cannot separate them You cannot, and people try to.
Well, and that's why like shit like also pay attention to
Intersectionality.
epigenetics, because you want to say generational trauma doesn't fucking exist. It's in your DNA, motherfucker. It's in your DNA. Like that shame, that trauma, that like that mental scarring, that physical scarring passes into your DNA. It permanently changes like future generations and shit. So you want to say that shit's not real? It's fucking biology. Like it's a biological mechanism. Like you physically change someone's entire like family lineage. Like you change your DNA permanently. Like
People will say there are only two genders, then completely like botch the like ninth grade biology to you. Like it's
No, that part.
crazy.
And even it's like, dude, like people just become so fixated and shit on gender and whatnot. It's like, guys in fucking Scotland wear kilts. Like, like not everything has to be fucking like genderized and shit. Like everything, it's like, because even like people that go for the androgynous look or whatever, you're still acknowledging that there is a kind of gender binary in presentation and shit to begin with. People become either so fixated on either being a gender or trying to replicate it and whatnot. And there's like, reasons and stuff for like, either you're trying to like pass opportunity, whatever and stuff that like, they make sense and that's like a separate thing. But if you're like, if you're like a straight cis person being like, oh, I want to go for more androgynous look or something, and you let your girlfriend put eyeliner on you, like you're not fucking like, what the fucking do?
Nothing here is revolutionary, sir. It's just eyeliner.
Yeah,
please
like,
put the flies in the bag.
If you're exploring that and it's like something that's doing like fulfilling to you, great. Don't act like you're fucking Picasso. Like, what was that one guy that was like, I'm dressed like Marsha P. Johnson today. This outfit is inspired by her.
So you put a dress on. Please put the flies in the bag.
Like what are we doing?
No, and it's like there's power behind it, but also at the end of the day, like something is just a piece of fabric or something is just a piece of like whatever and whatnot, and it's like about who you are as a person, right? Like it doesn't have to be your masculine or energy side. It could just be your courage, your bravery. Like focus on the actual like traits and essence and stuff of it, and be a person. Like you don't have to fit like that kind of toxic masculinity or like you're too effeminate as a guy, you're too like masculine as a guy, you're too like whatever this that and third. You're just a person, okay?
Focus on how that connects to your spirit, how that fulfills you, like makes you feel like a better person, like you're evolving, a newer person, like whatever happened to personal fucking growth? Whatever happened to overcoming the shadow, fighting the ego? Like what happened to that?
Right, and like look at like
start there.
And like look at like shit like Andrew Tate. Like, is this a masculinity you want to replicate or whatnot, or do you want to be masculine in your own way?
Someone
like,
needs to kill him. I'm being so for real.
Right, because it's like like.
He's dangerous for little boys. He's dangerous for little boys.
Dangerous.
Even like the the essence of like masculine and femininity is like caring. You're either caring for yourself, caring for your loved ones and whatnot. And it's like, isn't it more masculine to be a member of your community and to actually look out for one another than it is to like shit on women for like, oh, you have an OnlyFans, you whore. And meanwhile, Andrew Tate's literally in trouble for like sex trafficking, like bro slut shaming women, and then literally a fucking monster. Like
on the followers, he's a sex offender.
Yeah,
he's
like
a sex offender.
And they're like, oh,
they don't care about that. They don't care about.
He's just a hustler. He's just a hustler. You don't understand.
You don't understand. That's why
he was calling 14-year-old girls and rape. They don't care about pedophilia. They don't care about none of it.
More people just more people gonna die.
I'm sorry. Some things we can't reform. Y'all wanting to fuck kids and protect that fuck kids so bad. There's something wrong with that.
Like Luigi Mannioni. People are like
protect him.
Like they stopped showing him because they realized we weren't fucking mad at him.
Yeah.
Like that, and that's like they're finally starting to understand like. This isn't an isolated incident. This is like keep happening. Especially with Trump in office taking away people's rights.
This country was built on killing billionaires and other interests and shit. You think we're not going to do that shit again? Like, come on.
Exactly. This country was built as a business, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
that part. And then on the other hand, people got on the internet, they just would not stop being so fucking weird about that boy. They were like talking about how sexy he was and how big it was, and I'm just like, this is unhinged. You can't raise and talk about straight and so sexy.
But also, like, he had sex issues and stuff because of his back surgery too. So it's like part of the. But it's like it's really weird to like sexualize someone that is like kind of struggling with that shit, anyways. Where it's like you're fantasizing stuff, but it's like part of the reason why he was pushed to this is because of that kind of like insecurity and shit. So you're kind of like, you don't even know like what this person's actually about. It's like, focus on the fucking facts, right? Like, yes, it's kind of fun to be like, oh, killer and stuff is hot, but it's like, this is what they want. They want this misinformation. They want us to kind of do whatever. Like, there's a reason. Like,
social media is making us stubborn. This is how
it's the memification of everything. Not everything needs to be a joke. Not everything is funny.
People are memeing Elon Musk and they block them every single time.
No,
you're a friend. I'm sorry. Bye.
No, like meme and whatnot is like, bro, it's not funny. It's not funny. It's never funny.
When they make like reaction memes out of him, like, no, go to hell.
Actually, it's like you need to stop memeing right wing culture.
Stop platforming them. Like, you made them the mainstream. We tried pushing them out, and what did you do? You made them
benefits from slavery, like actively still in fucking like South America.
I mean, that's where his dad made all his money. Like,
yeah, fucking emerald mines.
Flag it.
And he wanted to look at the social security shit too. Like, bro, what the fuck? Like, almost no one has access to that. Like, we're gonna look at the government waste. We're giving too many old people medicine.
We're keeping them alive. Hospitals already don't give a fuck about old people. I sent people to the hospital. We're like, hey, they're not okay. They're
I
like,
don't give a fuck about nobody at this
meh.
point. These hospitals.
They don't have a UTI. They're fine. Like
Yeah.
what?
T.
Ugh.
Blue, do you have any parting words to leave the video with for whoever ends up watching?
I think I'm gonna plug my stuff.
Oh yeah, that part.
Follow me on my social media. BLUFCLU_. Hit my Instagram up, my YouTube channel, my TikTok. I'm posting on there again since it got unbanned.
T. That part.
Like I said earlier, I have a Discord server with my friend, What That Modern. If you're black and also queer and a creative or gamer, join up. I will send my friend over here the link, so it's everywhere it needs to be.
Yeah, I'll make sure to put the links in every other YouTube videos that post in the clips.
Okay, awesome. I'm releasing my song "I Am" on February 21st.
Moment.
And on February 28th, I have a performance at Vox Populi in Philly. So come check me out.
Moment. No, yeah, we'll definitely make sure to be there and whatnot.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay, word. We can do. Oh, Liam, do you have anything to add before we do thumbnails?
Don't back the blue, back this blue.
Yes. Vote for me no matter who. I
Yeah.
got you right.
Yeah, vote. Yeah, you want a blue wave? We got one right here.
I'm yelling. Okay, word. Okay, bet we can run thumbnails. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share with your friends.